My student Izzy went from zero to over $1 million in 10 months with his dropshipping brand. So today we'll do a full breakdown on how he was able to scale these numbers by optimizing his website, his ad creatives, and of course going into the media buying strategy. So Izzy, I'd love if you could break down how you're able to scale your brand so fast, over $1 million in sales at a 4 ROAS.
So yeah, I found this product on Temu actually. I was just looking for different products that obviously solve a big enough problem that I would be able to sell it online. One of the first problems that I came across was the pricing of the product. So typically when you see products similar to the product that I scaled, the price was very low. So typically what people would do is not even test a product like that. So a big part of how we were able to be successful with this brand was by bundling up the product and upselling. We had like a bunch of different SKUs on the product pages. So that way we were able to like increase our AOV and for it to eventually be profitable for us.
So looking at the product page right here, definitely the normal dropshipper would not be able to sell this product because they would only be trying to sell one at a time, which the margins make absolutely no sense for a product like this, which makes a ton of sense why Izzy decided to start his offer with a 4-pack. And then he has his most popular outline with a 6-pack and then a whole bundle of other goodies that his target audience could use to get his desired result. And then just to sweeten up the deal and really value stack, he has 2 free gifts as well. So again, not doing the traditional, here's a 50% off offer and then calling it a day. So my main takeaway would be, if you want to scale to these numbers, you have to figure out a way to make your offer irresistible. So whether that's free gifts, whether that's bundling, you have to do something different than everyone else.
How we got here to this offer, which is now our winning offer, is it was a very long process. There were no free gifts at the beginning. So we initially had a big problem, which was our AOV. Our AOV was like $28 or in the early $32, something like that. It was incredibly difficult to scale. One thing with Facebook is costs are always going to increase. So we knew that in order for us to actually scale, we need to increase our AOV. We started adding different SKUs, products that worked well with the product that we were already selling. So with that, that's how we would test those products kind of on the back end of things. And then if we saw that a lot of people were taking a certain product, then we would add it as a free gift to incentivize people to take the higher AOV offer instead. And then we did a lot of price testing as well until we found like more of a sweet spot where our conversion rate was still good and our AOV was also good enough. And even now we test a bunch of different offers all the time because we're still trying to increase our AOV, but we were able to pretty much double our AOV as well as testing.
So huge value point there. If you're trying to find free gifts to add to your offer to make it even more enticing, make sure to test these gifts and the post-purchase upsell first. And if people are taking them, then add them to your original offer to see if that improves your conversion rate. So I'd love if you could break down how you were able to go from just 8K in August to 2 months later balling out and doing over 100K a month in November.
So yeah, in August we did 8K. This was just in the testing phase. Prior to this, we'd been testing a bunch of different products, and those were just products that we couldn't scale. So when I came across the winning product, in a day we had 2 or 3 sales on the first day of testing. So then we just continued to test, and then we eventually found a marketing angle that really resonated with our target audience. So once we found that, we were able to scale pretty aggressively. So you can see the next month we did 36K. And then from there, we just doubled down on the marketing angles that were working. We just diversified. Like we iterated a lot of creatives, changed the hooks, and then we diversified following that same formula that was working for us. And then a month later, so within like 2 months, we were able to go from 8K to over 100K in revenue.
So now we're going to hop into the ad account and see what campaigns Izzy was launching and what creatives he was using to be able to scale these numbers.
We weren't running too many campaigns at the beginning. I was trying to keep the ad accounts a little bit more consolidated. We had a testing campaign. That's where it was just your average ABO campaign. We would test new creatives in there, and if after maybe like $20-30 a spend, we saw that it was picking up like traction, then what we would do is we take that ad that was converting at our target KPI, and then we would put it into a CBO of its own, and then we would scale that CBO, and then we'd also scale the ad on the testing campaign. That's why you can see that on our testing campaign we spent like 100K because we were scaling both. Another thing that we would do as well is I had an Advantage Plus campaign, and in this campaign I would just stack all of our winning ads in there and have them basically fight against each other. And this campaign, we were able to scale quite significantly as well. Here's the breakdown of all of the ads. We had like 19 winning ads in this campaign. Honestly, you can see that it's really the top 3-4 ads that got the most spend. And that's typically what you will see. There's generally a angle that really well, and that's what really helped us to scale, and all the other ads were working together to support that winning ad.
And honestly, one of the main things I noticed is that you have ads with very specific messaging outside of the frameworks. Like I see here, you're specifically talking about one problem in one of these ads, and then you have another problem that you're calling out in another ad, and they're both working. So you found out different messaging to that same audience that resonated with them. So big thing when testing different products, obviously know who your audience is, but realize that there's definitely multiple problems and benefits that can speak to your audience, and it's your job as a marketer to figure out what is that messaging that works, and then figure out what framework is the best for that messaging. So for instance, with Izzy, his best framework was problem solution for his number one problem. So obviously the key to scaling to these numbers is you need to have a constant stream of new creatives. So I'd love to know, where are you getting new content right now?
Yeah, so it's a mixture of we have a lot of different channels that we're getting creatives on. One of the main channels is Incense. So what we do on Incense is we launch campaigns, like product seeding campaigns. So basically what that is we send the product to UGC creators, and they provide us a video review in return for the product. So we're basically like getting creatives for free. And then with these creatives, we have a dedicated campaign where we test the creatives. So once we have a creator that converts well, what we'll do is we'll add her to our affiliate program. And in our affiliate program, they would basically just make content for us weekly, maybe 2 to 3 pieces of content weekly. And we would either pay them a flat rate or we'd pay them a commission based off of their performance. So that way it's really easiest for us, because I think the most important thing when scaling is you just need to have a constant flow of creatives. And the more creatives that you're able to test, obviously intentful creatives, but the more creatives that you're able to test, the easier it will be to scale.
So obviously we can't show too much, but Izzy sends a brief to each one of these creators to make sure he's getting back the right content for his brand. Specifically, as you can see on this document, he has do's and don'ts for how he likes his lighting, how he likes the authenticity to be when they're speaking the different lines. And he has a list of different angles and shots that he wants to get from each creator to make sure he can use that potentially for other ads that he makes. Obviously, we can't show those shots, but when you're writing your own brief for UGC creators, make sure you have shots, messages, and potential hooks that they can say in an ad, because again, these are creators, they're not marketers at the end of the day. Well, this has been awesome to see, and hopefully everyone here watching this video got a ton of value. So really the last thing I'd love to know is, what are you focusing on right now to keep scaling your brand?
So yeah, what we're really focusing on right now is we're just trying to increase the AOV. We're testing a bunch of different offers all the time, because obviously, the higher our AOV, the easier it is for us to scale. Another thing that we're focusing on is the LTV, each of our customers. So we want to increase like our customer retention. So right now what we're doing is we're really trying to dial in on custom content. We're getting a lot of custom content. So we have a huge library of B-roll that we're using to just clip and make different ads. So yeah, really dialed in on the content, increasing AOV, and customer retention.
Well, Izzy, I really appreciate you being as transparent as possible, showing us the full behind the scenes of $1 million brand and what you've been able to do. I think it's incredibly motivational and inspiring to see what's possible when you have the right systems and team in place. So the last thing I'd love to know is, for anyone watching this video that might be on the fence of potentially working with me, would you recommend my program?
I would definitely recommend this program to anybody that wants to be successful online. Definitely gave me the fundamentals, taught me everything about media buying, about creative strategy, and everything that you need to know. So it's definitely a very useful program to be in.